Hello and welcome to Core Finance. I'm Matt Brown. I'm joined by Nicole, Elliot, who is an investor and analyst. And today and now we're going to be talking about the Dow, but with a slight different take on it. Let's have a look at the chart and explain what this is to our viewers.
Well, the reason I've picked this one today is no accident, is that yesterday the Dow hit a new record high at 22,036. 22,036. It was also front page news on some of the financial press, and there was a whole load of sort of whoopla, yada yada. You know, everything's wonderful.
I'm always fearful when it's headline, and because it feels everyone's slapping themselves on the back, and it feels like then it's the top of the market. But I think I was saying that at 17,000, so I've been proved wrong.
Matt, I think along your lines, I tell you, definitely. First things first, the Dow Industrials was the only major US index which yesterday hit a new high. So in other words, it has not been confirmed by transports, which ironically are having a bad time, despite Boeing share price being a very big input into the industrials rally. Okay, you know, but you can see that we've got a bit of an issue here. Other transports are not doing well, and utilities are not at a new high, nor is the S&P 500, although it's within a whisker, so that one we can just ignore, nor is the NASDAQ, and nor is the Russell making new highs. So this is the first sort of tenet of Dow charting theory, which is the indices must confirm each other. Yes. We have abject non-confirmation, number one. Number two, the chart I brought here is the value of the Dow, but instead of being in US dollars on the right-hand axis, on the vertical axis, I've divided it by the euro-dollar exchange rate. So it's like, what is the Dow worth to somebody in the Eurozone, okay? And you can see that since January, we have created some sort of topping pattern. It's a little bit difficult to see, but it's the head and shoulders, and I've drawn in the neckline. It's perfectly horizontal neckline, which comes in at 18,350 euros per Dow, Dow points in euros, okay? It's perfectly symmetrical. The green line is a 50-day moving average, and the blue line is a 200-day moving average. As you can see that as at today, well, we'd have to see where it would close on Friday, because this is the weekly chart, right? But there is very much a real potential for a death cross, as it's like we call it, right? So this is a sort of long-term, this is exactly the sort of thing that any tracker fund would be using, or at least keeping in the back of their mind, to decide when it's time to bail out.
Someone's computer screen is potentially blinking at the moment, telling them to do something.
Exactly. So not only has a euro investor already lost 5% of his money on the Dow, despite the thing in the States going up to record highs, as a euro person, you've already lost 5% since peak, and peak was already in March. I mean, now, gosh, you know, it's August. I'm not so sure. I definitely, as a euro investor, would not want to be holding this one at all.
So would the switch be out of the Dow, maybe into the DAX, which is...
Well, it could be for two reasons, couldn't it? It could be either a collapse in the value of the dollar, and this is important in that so much of international trade is priced in dollars.
Exactly.
You're going to have you will be seeing major changes in the dynamics of international trade. The other interesting one I've been thinking about was property in Manhattan, which suddenly gets a lot cheaper. Yes. We've already got a problem there. I mean, Manhattan is not booming. It's expensive, but it's definitely not booming. Guangzhou, according to Knight Frank, is the city that had the biggest price rise in luxury residential, 36% in the last 12 months.
Incredible.
Yeah. So now this matters in terms of the property, and that obviously property will get cheaper, just like we've seen in London.
Yes.
And yet that hasn't brought the foreigners flooding in, and no wonder, because we face Brexit. So the dynamic has changed. I think possibly in the States also, where the sort of general view of Mr. Trump, excluding his core supporters, is becoming more tarnished since he's taken office. And again, that might be a slight negative. So you could see, switching out of the Dow and into residential real estate in the States or something like that. That would be something, something to think about.
Good stuff. Thanks very much, Nicole.